Okay, everybody, now we're going to dig into part 2 in our thrilling installment on discussion assignment tips. Okay, I definitely see discussion assignments as an opportunity to learn, not merely assess, especially in a purely online course. It is that one place where everyone convenes and talks together about course concepts and related ideas, right? It is like coming to class for students in a purely online course. And I want them to learn. Like I don't want them to just demonstrate their knowledge. I want them to cement and crystallize their knowledge and maybe even learn some new things. One of the examples I talk about in the handout is a discussion assignment for my psych and the law class where I have them go out and they interview people. I tell them this is a non-scientific survey. It's just to get perspectives and their flaws, and it actually is a good opportunity for me to get into how a good scientific survey should actually work. But nevertheless, I tell them to go out there, interview 3, 4, 5 people. Here are some questions I want you to ask them about the insanity defense, such as the one that was used for John Hinckley. Because one of the cool things about this class, a psych and the law class, is that students really learn how much popular opinion and what most people think about the legal system and crime diverges from the empirical evidence. And nowhere is that showcased better than with the insanity defense, where you ask people, they'll think, oh yeah, it's probably used in about 30, 40% of murder cases, when the reality is it's used less than 1% of the time, and it's even effective far less than that. Now, people think it's used more often because of the availability heuristic and the fact that it is used in high-profile cases like the Hinckley case, but the reality is it's not used that often, and they can go out and they can talk to people, their friends, their relatives, their dog, their cat, whatever, and find out exactly how often these people think it's used. And then when we have a discussion, this is a hybrid course, we can compare that to what the literature says, which is that it's almost never used at all, and we can talk about, well, why do those misperceptions exist, and so on. And ultimately, it's a different kind of discussion assignment. They're getting out there, they're actually doing things, they're interacting with people. Even if we're a purely online course, they actually have real human contact. And on top of that, they learn some things in the process of doing this assignment. And then finally, a huge factor, my role as chair for several years, I've looked at dozens and dozens and dozens of instructors and who knows how many courses on top of that, and I've had to deal with student complaints and grade appeals. And one of the biggest, most frequent causes of complaint is that students didn't know what was expected of them. Very few students are excited when they get a grade they don't want to get, but it is 5 times worse, 10 times worse when they get a grade that was subpar or less than they expected, and it happened because they feel like they didn't know what the teacher wanted from them. And so in creating your discussion assignments, I would strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to provide very detailed instructions. And in fact, you can do what I did in the handout. If you think it's a complicated assignment, provide an illustrative example. I write the examples myself in often cases because I have total control over what I want to convey, but I think you'd also use examples from students in prior classes, whatever it takes to really illustrate what that assignment is all about and what is an exemplary version of that assignment to do it really well. I feel like it answers so many questions in advance, forestalls a lot of problems, and yeah, it could pigeonhole students, it could back them in the corner doing things a particular way, but I found that the upside far outweighs the downside when you provide an example like this, an illustrative example. And most of all, just don't do something like this. Assignment instructions. For this week's assignment, I'm going to think hard and do a damn fine job. Good luck. And it's kind of a joke for me because I would never use assignment instructions like that, but I have seen instances where this is pretty close to what the students actually received, and it turns out about as well as you would expect. All right, and that is all she wrote. Thank you.